What is a depressing truth you have made peace with? My good friends of 5 years are actually pretty toxic and I might have to cut them off. Probably doesn't sound too bad. But it was only a month or two ago when I really realized that a lot of them are pretty toxic. I've lost the ability to feel certain emotions. It's like part of my brain have been paralyzed and I don't understand. And I crave it like wanting a hamburger so bad but you have no taste buds. My life is now a disassociated plane, it's not even beating its own drum. It's a flat line. And people approach me expecting me to give them an empathetic or affectionate reaction, and I know how, but in spur of the moment instances I can't naturally give them a human experience. I've now been outcast by friend groups, social events, political issues. Everything is crumbling. I have a therapist and psychiatrist, and there's nothing more uncomfortable than people with over 20 years of medical and mental health experience get quiet and lose confidence in how to handle my situation. I search the internet every day for people with my experience of what's happening. I search Reddit every day and can't find anything. But Eve came to a conclusion that I will never feel the feeling of a cute puppy coming to my arms, that warmth. Or the butterflies I used to get when a pretty woman walked by. It will never be okay, but Eve made an acceptance that I need to look at a plan B on life so I don't get destroyed. I taste is my new form of positivity. I don't feel good things. But I taste good things. I sit down with a plate of food and analyze the flavors. Observe every detail on why I like it. I make every meal count because it's the closest thing to a butterfly feeling of emotion I'm gonna get, so don't eat something bad or it'll be another 5 hours before I can try to enjoy something again. I'm not afraid of dying anymore because I'm at peace with my current hell. Most days I try to stay away from people that would make me want to take them with me. That my whole life has been a waste. That if I disappeared tomorrow nobody would even know or care. I used to consciously feel the existential dread that brings. But now I just kind of ignore it and keep going on with my mechanical existence. No matter how hard you love someone, they can fall out of love with you and there's nothing you can do to fix it. Took me a lot of self-destruction and pain to realize it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. We only have this life. Then a whole lot of nothing forever. This blows my mind and haunts me. I have made peace with it mostly. But sometimes late at night when I can't sleep I get the existential dreads. I find it more comforting than depressing, but some people will see it as the opposite. I'm entirely fine with being in no relationship. It's been almost a decade since the last one and I just don't see it as the priority that others do. I'm entirely fine with just having friends and colleagues. Hell, I'm happy. I just want to toss it out there because some people might find my reasoning to be helpful in deciding their life priorities. There are things we can change, but most things we can't. Most of our suffering comes from not being able to tell the difference. The thing we are most unable to change is other people. And when you need something/someone to change and you can't make it, the thing you have to change is yourself. TBH. It was only depressing when I first really understood it. Because I was depressed. But I wanted things to change. And I realized that all of the things I wanted to change were things I couldn't change. So I had to start changing myself. Since then, my life has actually gotten slightly better. It's different. It's not what I would have thought I wanted. But the hard truth were that my only options were 1. Suffer. 2. Die. 3. Change. So, I changed. That my ex is going to get away with raping me simply because she's hot, and that if I really did not want it I could have fought her off. 2 problems with fighting her off. 1. Very freaking strong. Trained in martial arts whereas I have no fighting experience, and 2. She could spin it around and say I was trying to rape her and I would be taken away. As much as I hate to do it, I have made peace with this sick truth. She will live a normal life and will always be haunted by this. If you see this, frick you. That I'm not going to have a big impact on this world. I'm not going to be remembered outside of my family and only for a 2 to 3 generations. I won't be in history books. I will be forgotten. But neither will most of the 7+ billion of us, so I got over it. The people that cause the most harm to the world will go unpunished. Live happy and fulfilled lives. And die getting to do pretty much anything they ever wanted simply because they were either born into wealth or managed to acquire tons of it through nefarious means. You can do everything perfectly and still fail completely. That and people would rather leave you than own up to what they did, and they'll never even give you a second thought. Humans, turns out, are good at lying to themselves. There will be no cure for my spinal cord injury in my lifetime. It was initially very depressing to realize. But almost 3 years in, I'm kind of okay with it. They should cure other stuff like ALS first. And if it has to be SCI related, cure the nerve pain. Or the bowel/bladder stuff. The not walking is very low on my list of priorities personally. I'm aware of ongoing research, but have no faith in any of it. We'd have to either revolutionize neurology or be very lucky. I was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. Growing up in the 90s in a rural area, they never checked for that. In fact, I was pretty much labeled a problem child despite being a decent student. On top of this, I didn't mentally mature at the same pace my friends did. They were discovering stuff about themselves that I didn't even begin to discover until I was in my 20s. On top of that, my parents just didn't know what to do with me. I got treated pretty bad until I was in high school, when my mom kind of figured there was something a little different about me, but most days she brushed it off. It took me getting counseling through the army to get diagnosed. Looking back, it all really made sense that I had ADHD, especially since my nieces and nephews all seem to have it. 99% of people will do nothing with their life. They will go to university, get a 9-to-5 office job, have kids, retire, then die. They will be forgotten soon after death. They were just a cog in keeping humanity going. The best they can hope for is an uneventful mundane life. This is the likely fate of most of us. The majority of the human race are narrow, deluded, arbitrary believers in fantasies, willfully ignorant about everything not immediately useful to them, violent, destructive, warlike, tribal as hell, and willing, under the right motivation or excuse, to commit any imaginable atrocity or horror on others. Even their own neighbors. Humans are brutal apes with a thin veneer of civilization barely holding them back from constant genocide and cruelty. I didn't want to believe this. And I have fought this conclusion for all of my 62 years. But I am rational. It cannot be denied. It must be accepted. Whatever glory humans achieve, they can never truly be trusted. I cannot dismiss this any longer. I was raped and physically abused. Both by family and another male student in middle school. I had to switch schools because he told everyone he raped me, and the school did absolutely zero, as well as the cops. The other students thought it was funny, and the day before I refused to return, at least 30 students followed me, pointing and laughing about how I was raped by another male student. I lived in the ghetto, and I guess it was funny for a young white boy in the hood to get raped by a black boy. That was the culture back then, at least. Now it would be different maybe, albeit 16 years too late. The depressing truth is that I was raped. The beauty is I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I don't think about it much anymore, and I don't let it hold me back. I'm the hero of my own story, and I'm successful. I only wish that person would be held accountable. Last I heard, he had raped 3 other people and was still not arrested.